The Pittsburgh Steelers get a B minus from me. I think that their draft had strengths. I'm just not sure that it warrants this great grade, considering it's possible that a lot of people felt overly optimistic about their team because of Ryan Shazier coming out on stage and announcing the pick. And I mean, it's all wonderful to see him walking on his feet and being a pretty healthy person now. But if not a much healthier person than he was at the time of his injury. But the Terrell Edmonds pick is not one that I'm that big of a fan of. It's just that based on the Jason La Canfora report in an episode of the Pick Six podcast by CBS Sports last week, La Canfora talked about how Edmonds, the Terrell Edmonds, was getting a a boost in his stock because of who his brother was. I mean, that's not exactly a guy that you want picking in round one. I mean, a guy should be a higher pick because of his family. I mean, we've seen so many sons failing in the NFL because of who their dads were. I mean, why would you ever do that with somebody's brother? But maybe I could be proven wrong if Terrell finds a good fit within the Steelers' defense. I think that the James Washington pick is a pretty interesting one. He could be like Mike Wallace when Wallace was a rookie. Wallace was a 700-yard, six touchdown rookie with San Antonio Holmes and Hines Ward each getting 1,000 yards receiving in 2009. And people fail to realize that Heath Miller had 76 catches that year, and they ran an awesome offense that season. They only finished 8-8 because Ben Roethlisberger missed a game and Dennis Dixon had to fill in, and Troy Polamalu only played 5 games that year. Again, it just shows you that the quarterbacks are not the reason teams win. Teams are the reasons why teams win. But um, but I think but I think that the Washington pick, I think it's a much better pick than the selection of his teammate Mason Rudolph. Rudolph is an unnatural thrower and a product of that Oklahoma State offense, which produced NFL failures like Zach Robinson and Brandon Whedon. And even though he was more talented than those two, he just didn't look like a natural thrower on film, at least based off of the observations of analysts like Greg Cosell. He reminds Bucky Brooks of Nick Foles, but Nick Foles is an occasional wonder and not a consistently productive player. But I mean, there's a chance that he could find success, but I don't think that Ben will give him that chance because of how he has been on the record of saying that that he doesn't like third rounders being used on a quarterback. I mean, I don't think that's gonna be a positive, as he has to be in the same quarterback room as a player such as Mason Rudolph this upcoming season. And I mean, you never know with respect to other players like Josh Dobbs. I mean, we know Landry Jones can't play. And I didn't like Josh Dobbs when he was a rookie too, but maybe he learned from his mistakes. Maybe he found a way to get better in the off season, and he could be a more improved player. I like him as an athlete, and it'd be kind of fun if he became a special teamer like Joe Webb did for the Vikings, the former backup quarterback who filled in for Brett Favre, and ultimately not just became a backup quarterback, but he even became a special teams player for the Vikings, and even played wide receiver for the Bills this past in 2017. But a lot, like there's so much that could happen. There's so much that could happen, but they have to. There has to be some kind of stability, especially as many people in Pittsburgh want Mike Tomlin gone. But Okorafor, I think could be a potential guard prospect, if not a potential guard, especially with Mike Munchak being the coach. They've done a great job in developing linemen, especially ones who were not highly touted, like Alejandro Villanueva and Marcus Gilbert. Uh, Marcus Allen, the safety linebacker hybrid prospect, I think he's more of a hitter than a coverage guy. He is, to me, not that great of an athlete to play safety, especially with his 4.6, 40, and 7.1 three cone times. Um, and Jalen Samuels, he's a potential fullback, but they haven't really needed a fullback for some time, and it might be a while before he gets on the field, considering that Jesse James, although not a Pro Bowler, but an ideal fit for an offense that is truly meant to make the wide receivers flourish.